Welcome to today's episode where we help you as a homeowner know how your home works and how to keep it working. Today we're talking all things hot water tanks, and I'm joined today by our guest, Sean Moffitt, who is our service plumbing manager here in our Dayton, Cincinnati markets at 5 Star Home Services. Sean, thanks for joining us today. Would you give a little insight into who you are and your background in plumbing?
Yeah, I've been doing plumbing a little over 20 years now. So I've been with 5 Star Home Services since last July, so a little over a year now. I manage the Dayton market and the Cincinnati market for the service plumbers.
Great, and we're talking hot water tanks today. And so if you were with a homeowner down in their basement or wherever their hot water tank may be, and they're looking at the hot water tank, it can be intimidating. There's a lot of parts that work together to get that hot water to their different appliances. How would you kind of walk a homeowner through the hot water tank, how it works, and what are maybe the key components that they are looking at?
For sure. We can start out with gas water heaters. So when you're looking at the water heater, you're going to have a hot and cold water line that's going to be located at the top of the unit. So all water heaters, whether it be gas or electric, you have a dip tube on the cold side. So how the water heater works on the gas side is you have a control valve located at the bottom of the unit. On the back of that control valve is your thermostat. So depending on what the setting is located on depends on when the water heater fires up and heats the water. So anytime that you turn on the hot side of a handle, you're automatically bringing cold water down the cold inlet of the water heater, which has a dip tube. So it gets delivered to the bottom, gets heated. So when you turn the hot side of the handle, the cold water pushes the hot water out of the tank and gets delivered to the fixture that you're using.
Now I know there's two kind of hot water tanks. We got the regular ones, it can be gas or electric, but we also have these tankless water heaters. How do those work?
They have a copper heat exchanger inside of them. So there's a water flow sensor. So anytime that you turn the hot side of a handle, that's when the unit engages and fires up. So that's the nice thing about the tankless units is you don't have a standing pilot light. So the only time that you're using energy to heat the water is when you turn the hot side of a handle.
For a lot of homeowners, a broken hot water tank, a leaky hot water tank can cause a lot of stress, can be very unexpected. It could cause us to hit the bank pretty hard. So how long do these hot water tanks last? What is a typical lifespan for those? And maybe why is it that some of those just don't last that long?
So here in the state of Ohio, the average life is between 7 and 12 years, depending on hardness in the water. So if you have a water softener to take the hardness out of the water, that's going to give you a longer life out of the unit. So your electric units, what happens is you get scale inside of the water heater, so it will affect the heating elements. On a gas unit, it will actually sound like there's something inside of the tank. You'll hear a rumbling sound and a knocking noise. That's because there's sediment, hardness of the water fills up that tank. And unless you flush that unit once a year, you're still going to have that issue.
There's nothing worse as a homeowner of coming home to a leaky hot water tank and water everywhere flooding your basement or your pantry, or turning on the shower, there's no hot water. What are those common warning signs or telltale signs that homeowners can be on the lookout for to know that there may be an issue starting to happen with their hot water tank?
Yeah, so on the electric side, the biggest thing that you will notice is your normal setting inside of your shower. You will notice that if you're starting to have an issue that where your normal position is when you take a shower, you have to turn that down because the water is extremely hot. That's a sign on the electric side that you're having issues with the elements. On the gas side, what you can have is hot and cold spots to where the back of the thermostat inside of the tank is not working correctly. So when you go to turn the hot water on, you don't necessarily have hot water, you'll have lukewarm water.
For homeowners that are looking to maybe add a new hot water tank, replace or repair, what are some of the questions homeowners should be thinking about, asking themselves before they make that next purchase? I know Size can be one of those, tankless. What are some big questions homeowners could be thinking about before they make that purchase?
Yeah, so you want to think of efficiency, the demand of hot water. If you're a younger family, you have children in the home, you're going to have a higher demand for hot water. So that would be an excellent time to look into a tankless unit to where you have endless hot water, not instant, but endless. So if you have a high demand for hot water, tankless is a good route to go. You always want to take in consideration the number of bathrooms that you have in the home. So if you're thinking about downgrading from a larger unit to a smaller unit to maybe save some money, you want to take in consideration the number of bathrooms, the number of people inside of the home, and how much hot water you use on a regular basis.
And as a homeowner, what are some things on a regular basis they could be doing to maintain their hot water tanks to last longer and to make sure they're being as efficient as possible?
Yeah, so we'll start on the tank side. So a lot of plumbers won't educate the customer and letting them know that they need to have their unit flushed once a year to keep the sediment outside of the tank. That's going to add an average of 5 to 10 years of life to the unit by simply just flushing the water heater once a year. On your tankless models, they have a copper or now a stainless steel heat exchanger with most manufacturers. So you get a lot of scale buildup. So when the water passes through the tankless and goes into the heat exchanger, that's how it's heated. So if you have a lot of scale buildup inside of there, it takes longer to heat that water. So once a year, you want to have a plumber come out and descale the unit to make sure that you're keeping up on the efficiency, and then just do an overall inspection of the unit.
And for the homeowners who maybe the hot water tank has kind of been out of sight of mind, it's been working well, or maybe we've noticed performance issues, what is an action step, a piece of homework that they can do this week to take a step in better preparing their hot water tanks?
Yeah, so we take it for granted that, we're always going to have hot water when we turn this hot side of the handle. So what I would always recommend is just doing a visual inspection of the unit. Commonly, the water heater is going to be located in a mechanical room or a closet, and unless we have an issue with no hot water, we kind of just leave it there and don't check up on it. So you can look and just do a visual inspection of the water heater to see if you're starting to get any rust marks at the top of the unit, the bottom of the unit, or if you're hearing noises on the gas units, that could let you know that you need to flush that unit.
Sean, this has been incredibly insightful and helpful. And for you as a homeowner, we hope you have some practical tips for you to know how the hot water tanks work and how to keep them working. If you're in need of any plumbing services, hot water tanks repair, maintenance, or replacement, head to my5starhomeservices.com to check our services out for plumbing, electrical, and HVAC.